I have to start with the inspiration for you and Robin to write this film. Why did you feel it was important to do that right now, and has it kind of been something that's been tugging at you maybe even for a while?
Well, I became very acquainted with the subject matter when I was researching Hotel Rwanda, particularly from a book by Samantha Power called The Problem from Hell. And then, lo and behold, 10 years later somewhat, I get the opportunity. I'm presented with Robin Swicort's script and learn that this project is fully funded. And it was a gift for me because the chance to tell that in the scope that we did, to get the message out about one of the great unknown catastrophes of the 20th century, I couldn't pass that up.
Is it hard to believe that it is unknown?
It is, particularly when you study the history of it. This was one of the most heavily reported events in the First World War, particularly in the United States. And then it disappeared from the newsprint and subsequently the television and film media. But the attitude that successive Turkish governments took to the subject matter and the denial of it and their active suppression of it, you start to realize what happened. And now we hope by getting the story out there to start a debate that maybe a resolution of this could finally come, a recognition of what happened in the past, and a chance to move on.
Yeah, well, at the least an acknowledgement.
For sure.
Would be a start. Your cast is astounding. I mean, my goodness. What was, the greatest thing about working with this cast, if you could even narrow it down to one thing?
A combination of things, just the focus and the research and the embodiment of the character by Oscar Isaac. He took upon him this Armenian character. He got the accent right. He got the cultural sort of feel of it right, and at the same time carried the love story beautifully. The discovery and the chance to see Charlotte use all of her talents and move from this sort of joie de vivre society woman to the Earth Mother for these orphans, and how she captured that in the love story. And then Christian is just the best to work with. Focused, determined, really sort of charitable and giving to the rest of the actors. It was, the cast were just, all of them. Then after that, Tom Hollander, James Cromwell, Shore Agadasu, all of them were great.
Yeah, it feels very fateful that this ensemble would come together at this time to tell this story.
Well, fateful in many ways. The cast came together, and literally as we're filming, the events that we are filming are appearing on our TV screens every night, down to the moment where we're filming the siege of Muzadak, this mountain in what is now southern Turkey, and the Yazidi population are fleeing up a mountain under siege by ISIS. People are fleeing across the same deserts, drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. The relevance and the poignancy of that was really touching to all of the cast and crew.
Choosing a field to become a filmmaker is not an easy one to break into. What was it about this world that tugged at your heart that you couldn't say no to?
Well, it's an evolution from the first film. I did 3 films based on the Northern Ireland Troubles with Jim Sheridan. And so we were steeped in that, telling a political story through the triumph or the emotional journey of ordinary people. And that became my sort of modus operandi, and I had a great opportunity to do that with Hotel Rwanda and then with this film. Because I really believe film as an educational tool is one of the greatest gifts the industry has, and it's being lost. I mean, when I look back, the only film of this scope and nature, the last was The English Patient, really. And then you think of Schindler's List, The Killing Fields, Missing, Costa Gravis movies. That was our education. That's how we understand the Holocaust, the Cambodian genocide, the Rwandan genocide. We can't lose this particular aspect of filmmaking.